Let me tell you something for sure. Living in an English-speaking country doesn't make you fluent. Just listening to English doesn't make you fluent. And studying grammar all day alone doesn't make you fluent either. Fluency is a skill that you have to build. Look, fluency has 3 pillars. If you miss even one of them, fluency will never happen to you. In this video, I'm going to break down each pillar and show you how to build it. So if you really want to become fluent in English and you're tired of trying different methods that don't work, then this video is for you. Because honestly, this is the best strategy that works the best and makes you fluent in English. So let's get straight into it. Fluency has 3 pillars. The first pillar is knowledge. You see, to speak English, you need knowledge. That means knowing which words or expressions to use, when to use them. It also means knowing how to form your sentences, which sentence patterns fit different situations. I have a tip for you. To build strong knowledge for fluency, don't learn words on their own. Learn them in collocations. Learn which verbs or adjectives or phrases go naturally with a word. Take the word habit, for example. Learn it as develop a habit. It's a collocation. It takes time to develop a habit of reading every day. And notice it's habit of. It takes time to develop a habit of reading every day. Or break a habit. I'm trying to break the habit of checking my phone before bed. Get into a habit. I want to get into the habit of speaking English daily. Or have a habit of. He has a habit of arriving late. Notice that it's habit of. Okay? By learning words in collocations like this, you'll know how to use them naturally in your own sentences. And this is what fluency is all about. Look, if you only know the word habit, you might struggle to use it naturally. But if you learn it in collocations, you can instantly plug it into sentences. You'll know how to use it naturally, and this makes you fluent. And when it comes to grammar, focus on the basics or the areas that you always struggle with. If you still stumble over sentence patterns that you use every day, like when you speak, you get stuck thinking, wait, should I use the present perfect or the past tense here? Then it's time to get serious. Solve your problem. Search for answers online. Google it. Watch a YouTube video about that topic. Ask someone to explain it. Do whatever it takes to tackle that specific weak spot. Aren't you tired of running into the same question over and over? Should I use the present perfect tense or the past tense? Well, the good news is this is something that you can definitely solve if you are determined to learn it. So take control of it, fix it, and your speaking will become much smoother and you'll become more confident with the right practice. And this brings us to the next pillar of fluency. The second pillar of fluency is practice. You see, knowledge alone isn't enough. You need to actively put it into sentences. So first, you put information in your head, then you need to pull out that information. And this is where most people stumble. You might read, watch, or listen to English all day, but if you never actually make your own sentences, your brain can't link words and ideas together fast enough. So definitely you need to practice. Think of it like playing basketball. You can watch every NBA game ever. But if you never dribble, shoot, or pass yourself, you can never play in real time. So practice is your dribbling, shooting, and passing in English. So to practice, I have 3 steps for you. Step 1. When you learn something new, write your sentences. Writing gives you a huge advantage. You see, when you learn something new and try to write your own sentences, you actually have time to think. You can carefully choose the words you've just learned. Experiment with grammar structures, with sentence patterns. And you can really carefully express your thoughts clearly because you have time to do it. Think of writing as a practice stage for speaking. The words and sentences you create on paper later become much easier to say out loud because your brain has already rehearsed them and actively used your knowledge at your own pace. With writing, you have the time and space to think, organize your ideas, and fully express yourself, something that you often can't do in the speed of speaking, especially when you learn something new. At first, it might be difficult to put it into your own sentences and say it out loud. So write your own sentences. Step 2, talk to yourself out loud. And this is something I always recommend. It's way more natural than you think. We talk to ourselves all the time. We just don't notice it. Think about it. In the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror and your brain starts talking. Why my hair is so messy today? What is this pimple? Why my eyes look puffy today? Or when you're on your way to work, your mind keeps going, did I lock the door or did I just think of locking it? What if I suddenly quit and open a cafe? This way I'll be rich. That's already a conversation. So here's the shift that I want you to make. Say those thoughts in English. You don't need a partner. You don't need perfect sentences. You're just moving your inner voice into English. So instead of thinking, did I lock the door in your native language? Say it in English. Did I lock the door? It's pure practice and builds fluency fast. So talk to yourself out loud. Talk to yourself when you wake up, when you're in the shower. Talk to yourself when you're driving or walking. You're talking to yourself anyway. Just switch the language. The next step is this. Watch a video about a topic and then you explain it yourself in your own words. When you watch a video about a specific topic, let's say why dinosaurs went extinct, something amazing happens. You don't just learn random English, you're receiving English. Your brain is relaxed. You understand the ideas. So you start picking up words and expressions related to that topic, which my topic is why dinosaurs went extinct. So you might learn words like asteroid, survive, extinction, climate change. Your brain now has a context that makes learning new words related to that topic much easier. But the real magic happens after the video ends, when you try to explain it yourself. When you try to explain it yourself in your own words, your brain naturally uses the same words and expressions that you've just learned or you've been exposed to. Not because you memorize them, but because they belong to that topic and you're explaining and describing that topic. So you need them. At that moment, your brain has to do the real work. You're not repeating sentences, you're choosing words, deciding on sentence patterns, organizing your ideas and thoughts. Exactly what happens in real conversations. Now, you might start talking and then suddenly stop and think, I know this word, but I don't know how to use it. That moment, this gap is amazing. I know, you think gaps are a bad sign, but they're not. Gaps mean your brain is trying to produce language, not just receiving the language. So it's a real learning. It's fluency training. So what do? You go back to the video, you listen again, you notice how they use the word, how they built the sentence, you learn it properly, and then try it again. Each cycle closes a gap. Watch, explain, notice the gap, learn, and explain again. This is why this method works so well. You're not just consuming English, you're testing yourself. You're fixing your weak spots and turning understanding into speaking ability. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You can simplify. You can explain it like you're talking to a friend. If you don't know a word, describe it in a simple way. That's fluency. So instead of watching 10 videos and moving on, watch one video, pause, and say, okay, how would I explain this in my own words? That's how English stops being something you understand and starts becoming something you actually can use. Now let's talk about daily speaking practice. If you want real fluency, try to speak English every single day for at least 30 minutes. You see, fluency is not built in one study session once a week. It's built through daily exposure and repetition. When you speak every day, your brain stays in English mode. You don't have to restart from zero each time. 30 minutes is long enough to warm up your brain, struggle a little, find your words, and finally feel more comfortable speaking. And that struggle in the middle, that's where progress happens. Daily speaking builds speed. At first, you might think slowly, pause a lot, but when you speak every day, speaking becomes automatic. Your brain starts retrieving words and sentence patterns faster. But what matters is consistency. And finally, the last pillar. The third pillar of fluency is confidence. For many English learners, this one is the biggest one. You can have all the knowledge and all the practice in the world, but if you are afraid of making mistakes, your fluency will never truly show. Confidence is what allows you to jump into real conversations without waiting for the perfect sentence. It's what lets you try new words, use sentence patterns that you're not 100% sure about, and keep speaking, even if it feels messy or uncomfortable. I know a lot of you think, I'll speak when I'm ready. But here's the truth. You'll become ready by speaking. Look, everyone makes mistakes. Your teachers make mistakes. I make mistakes sometimes. Native speakers make mistakes all the time. They change sentences halfway through. They say wrong words and then correct themselves. The only difference is they don't stop, they don't panic, they just keep going. That's confidence. Confidence doesn't mean speaking perfectly, it means trusting yourself enough to continue. Even if you're unsure, and every time you speak, despite your fear, your confidence grows a little more. So don't wait to be perfect. Speak and improve as you go, because fluency belongs to people who keep going. Now, if you want to know more about how to overcome your fear of speaking, I actually have a whole video about it where I explain how to overcome your fear of speaking and how I actually did it, because I was so afraid of speaking English. So you can watch it next. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.